Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I'm being blinded by a ring light right now, so yay! My name is Debbie, I am Debbie Drama, and I'm basically becoming a booktuber at this point because I got another book! So hold it upside down. Yeah, I got another book for you. It's I Invited Her In by Adele Parks. An actual physical book, because I've got a shelf on my bookshelf which is just books that I have which I haven't read yet, and so this was on it, plus another book that I'll be doing after this one. But yeah, so I invited her in and she took everything. When I first read the title, it kind of reminded me of a show that I saw on the BBC a few years ago. Was it a few years ago now? And it was called The Replacement. That's what it kind of reminded me of at first. If you didn't see The Replacement on the BBC, it was basically about a woman who had a child and she wants to go back to work, so she employs somebody to kind of... Oh wait, was it the other way around? I'm trying to work out which way around it was. She was either getting them to look after her kids or she was taking over her job while she was pregnant. But it was very much a case of, you know, like I invited her into my life and she's just blown everything apart. And that was the kind of vibes I was getting from the title. But yeah, so I'll read you the blurb. Imagine the worst thing a friend could ever do. This is worse. When Mel receives an unexpected email from her oldest friend Abby, it brings back memories she thought she had buried forever. Their friendship belonged in the past, to those carefree days at university. But Abby is in trouble and needs Mel's help, and she wants a place to stay, just for a few days while she sorts things out. It's the least Mel can do. After all, friends look out for each other, don't they? I love that it's just like, it's short and sweet, that blurb. Oh, I loved this book. There's a bit of a mystery in there. It's a bit of a thriller. It's so done. I can't even speak, that's how good it is. It's done so well, because you're flip-flopping between Mel and Abby for most of it, but occasionally you get little things from Mel's husband and also her son. It's basically the chapters are done from different points of view. So you're seeing Mel, you're seeing Abby, you're seeing the husband, you're seeing the son, and you're seeing a bit of Abby's ex-husband. Because the point of the book is that, you know, Mel and Abby were best friends while they were at university, and they were so close. And then Mel discovers that she's pregnant after a one-night stand. Abby is just there going, you know, no matter what you want to do, you know, I'll be here for you. And Mel decides that she wants to keep the baby, and she drops out of university. Abby stays and goes on to big and wonderful things and ends up moving to LA and being married to a producer and all this sort of stuff. So it's like Abby gets the limelight and Mel gets the family life. So both of them are kind of unhappy in their situations. It's just that case of the grass is always greener on the other side. Because both of them, you learn from the chapters where they're each narrating, you learn from the chapters that they both want what the other has got. So Abby wants the family, but she and her husband never had children. It was part of their arrangement. Now, even though Abby really wanted children, the husband kept going, no, we said from the start that we weren't going to have kids. And so when Abby finds her husband cheating on her, that's what spurs her to move back to the UK and contact Mel and say, can I come stay with you for a couple of days? At this point, they're more or less estranged at that point, because obviously they've both got their own lives going on. Abby's in America, Mel's in the UK with their family. When you read the moments of them connecting again on Facebook, it is one of those things where you're just like, would you really do that? Would you really let a friend who you haven't seen in years, who you're practically estranged from, into your house when you don't even know if you still get along? But yeah, it kind of plays on that a little bit. It was so good. There's some really interesting like questions at the end. It says questions for discussion, so it's for when you're in a book club and stuff. And like there's questions like, to what extent is this a novel about revenge, stuff about kind of different friends for different times in our lives, and it's just it's so interesting to see, especially when you are reading it from both points of view. You're trying to understand the mindset that both of them are in as the events unfold. Because I'll admit, I did kind of guess the twist, but not exactly. Because throughout the book, you're kind of finding out that obviously Mel had a one-night stand, which resulted in her firstborn son, and then she meets up with somebody else and has kids with him. You've got lots of questions over who the man is. I half guessed it. There was more to it than I thought there was. It's so clever, and I love the cover. I think it's that thing of, yeah, I invited her in and she's the well-dressed one, and, you know, because you're reading it through Mel's point of view. Mel's chapters are all in I. It's all me. And then when you talk about Abby, it's she. So it's primarily Mel's point of view. It's like her diary, and then every so often you hear about everybody else. This would be such a good film. Oh, it really would. I love this book so much. This is one that's staying on my keep shelf of my bookshelf. It's so clever, and the way that the twist comes out, because you're reading the chapters from all the different points of view, but does primarily come back to Mel and Abby. You're getting their inner workings that's going on, because a lot of time with thrillers you don't get that inner working of the baddie, I guess. It tries to make them all a bit more human, which is a really nice way to do it. So you're seeing what state of mind Mel is in while everything's happening. You're seeing the state of mind that Abby is in, and because I'll admit you heard one of the questions talks about jealousy, and the fact is, you know, they're both jealous of each other. Mel is jealous of the heights that Abby has reached because, you know, she's going to America, she's a chat show host and stuff, and people know who she is, and she's living this wonderful life. Mel is, you know, at home, she's got a regular job, she's got her family and her kids, and that's what Abby wants. Abby wants the family, whereas Mel's got stuck in a rut and she's admiring everything that Abby has done since university. So it really is jealousy on both parts, which explains a lot. When it comes to the twists, it involves like the son and his girlfriend, and there's lots of little bits where you're just like, oh, hang on a second, wait. It kept me on my toes. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and I read it very quickly, and it was probably over a couple of days, because I was reading it at work. So I just looked over there and the cat is like this in his bed. I'd move the camera, but I'd lose my setup, so he just looks so cute. He's just literally like this on the edge of his bed. All I can see is like his eyes and his ears, so he's like this. Anyway, yeah, so it's a nice clever book. It's got that twisty stuff, so if you like a good thriller, if you like twisty stuff, and the fact that it does humanise them by showing you Abby's mindset, because to be fair, I guess in a way by the end of it you realise they're kind of both baddies in a way, but it's a lot more complex than that. It's like life is a lot more complex than just the goodies and the baddies, because at the end of the day we are all human beings and we all have our own motivations. I mean, I always say, you know, I find it hard to hate anybody because at the end of the day we are all human and we're all doing what we need to do to survive. But at the same time there are some truly, truly terrible people in the world who feel justified in what they're doing, but they're not. They are just truly horrible people who only care about themselves. And in this case, both of them have selfish reasons for what happens. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to say. So I invited her in by Adele Parks. It's a stunningly gripping book. It even says in the back, I invited her in is a blistering tale of wanting what you can't have, jealousy and revenge, from the Sunday Times bestseller Adele Parks. Yeah, it's just jealousy and revenge. It's, I mean, in one of the first chapters that you meet Abby, she talks about getting revenge, but you don't know why she wants the revenge, who she wants the revenge against, and so constantly all the way through you're trying to connect the dots and figure out what is her end game here? What is she trying to accomplish with what she is doing? So good. Yes, so I Invited Her In by Adele Parks. Definitely recommend it if you're a good thriller fan, which, as you've probably figured out by now, I definitely am. I'm going to go put the kettle on and have another cup of tea, because it's 3 o'clock and I've only had 1 cup of tea so far, so I'm very proud of myself, because I've been trying to cut down on my tea intake lately. The girls at work will know that I have been alternating Yorkshire tea with some of the flavoured tea, so I'll go for like lemon and ginger. I did try green tea the other day. It wasn't my favourite, but I think it's one that needs to be hot rather than cold, because sometimes I let tea go cold a little bit. I'm okay with drinking cold Yorkshire tea, because it's quite a strong tea anyway, but green tea, it needs to be drunk hot. If you drink it cold, it tastes like soap. A great way to end the video. Anyway, so thank you for watching my book review of I Invited Her In. I'll pop a link in the description to where you can get a copy of the book. It'll mostly likely be an Amazon link, knowing me. But again, you can probably get it on Kindle, you can probably get it on any book service. There might even be an audiobook for all I know. It's just, I don't really do audiobooks. But generally, I just like to rock out to musicals in my car. One I'm listening to at the moment is Eugenius, and I can't get it out of my head. It took me so long to download it, and it's like the best thing ever. Because I've got like, don't shoot for the stars, shoot higher. And the No Pants Dance is just hilarious. If you don't watch Buckley and Page, you need to watch Buckley and Page. They're absolutely hilarious. And they partly kind of introduced me to Eugenius, because I somehow got left out of the loop of Eugenius while it was happening. So it was binge watching Buckley and Page that was just like, hang on a second, I like some of the songs here, I need to give it a go. Anyway, so I'm completely off on a different tangent, so I'm going to wrap this up. So I've been Debbie, I'm Debbie Drama. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. There'll be a subscribe thing somewhere around here. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Mwah! Bye bye, lovelies!